Hello, Local 948 members, and welcome to the Luis Diaz Lupe Juarez Facebook and YouTube page. My name's Otis, and I'm here tonight to moderate a candidates forum to give the members an opportunity to hear directly from the candidates themselves. And we're going to start with Mr. Diaz.
Thank you, Otis. Yes, my name is Luis Diaz. But first of all, I would like to tell all our members out there, the workers in the cannery industry, and everybody out there that please take care of yourself. We still have this pandemic. We still have a virus. Take all the necessary precautions and protect yourselves. And yes, I am Luis Diaz. I announced my candidacy. I am running for Secretary Treasurer, Teamsters Local 948. I am currently the president of the local union, and we're asking for your support. Thank you.
Mr. Juarez.
Hello, I'm Lupe Juarez. I'm a 44-year Del Monte employee. I'm running for president of Local 948, and I'm a former officer of Local 948.
So I think this is an opportunity for the members to learn a little bit about you away from the union and away from the cannery. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your early life and your family background?
Yes, Otis. I was born here. I was born in Turlock, California. But at an early age, my dad decided that he was going to take us back to Mexico, and we were going to educate ourselves in Mexico. Although every year on summertime on our vacation, we would come back to the U.S. So it's not like we were distant. Every year we were coming. Within the months, it was probably from June all the way till like August. Whenever the summer vacation was over, we had to go back to school. And I was raised in a town. It's called Ameca, Jalisco. It's the state of Jalisco. It's in Mexico. So I studied over there all the way until I graduated as an industrial electrician. And as soon as I graduated as an industrial electrician, then I came back, and ever since I've been here. My dad helped us out, and I was blessed. I got a job in the cannery, and here I am.
And so your dad would travel back and forth between Jalisco and Modesto as well, right?
Yeah, well, and anybody that works in the cannery industry is going to be familiar with this. When you first start in the industry, unless you have these jobs that are key jobs like being mechanics, electricians, instrument techs, machinists, those are year-round jobs. And obviously, way back in those years when my mom and my dad started, they started as seasonal. So they would come, they would work the 3-4 months, and then they would go back. They would, and be with us, and then they would come back and work here in the U.S. And that was our life back then.
And how about you, Lupe?
I was born in Casa Grande, Arizona, but my dad was from Matamoros, Tamaulipas, Mexico. My mom was from Harlingen, Texas. That's where they met. They were farm labor workers and my migrants, and they were migrating towards California. That's how we ended up here in the valley, and this is where I grew up, and this is where I was raised.
And Harlingen's right on the border.
It's real close to the border.
Yeah.
Real close.
So, tell us a little, Louis, about your early cannery life, working in the cannery, how you started, when you started.
Yeah, when I came back from Mexico, I was young. I was 18 years old. Obviously, I had my diploma and my degree as an electrician, but I had no experience, no hands-on. And when I first applied on all these industries and trying to get hired as an electrician, they were always looking for somebody with 5-6 years experience. And so I had to basically start in other jobs. And for all those that think that it was easy, it was not. It wasn't like the door was open and I just walked in. I actually did some work out in the fields. I did pick peaches, I picked apricots, strawberries, cucumbers. I mean, you name it. I was out there until I was given the opportunity to work. And I started in S&W in 1986. Started my job there, and it was amazing. When I first started there, the first job that I had was stripping cans. They bring me in, I go into this huge warehouse, and they explain to me that somebody made a mistake, that they put the wrong label on the can. So they had all these pallets lined up, and all we had to do is strip cans and put them aside. And 2 hours after I started, somebody told me, hey, it's break time. Went to break. 2 hours after that, they come back and they tell me, hey, it's lunchtime. I was like, man, this is getting better as goes. Go to lunch, come back, and 2 hours after that, they tell me, hey, we get another break. And I said, man, I'm getting paid for this. That same day, I was approached by a lady, and she was a shop steward. She introduced herself, and she told me that I had to sign an application to become a union member. And I signed it. And she started explaining me all these beautiful, great things that that I was now gonna be part of. She explained about, I was gonna start getting a pension for every hour that I work. I was also gonna get a pension contribution. That if I was to be there and work there for a long term, I was gonna enjoy like holidays, and I was gonna enjoy, overtime after 8, time and a half on weekends. I mean, she went on and on explaining about all these jobs and all these benefits that I was going to get, medical. It was just amazing. I just couldn't believe it. Unheard of for the early age that I had and the jobs that I had before. And I was fascinated by it in a way that I even asked her, so, what is it that you do? Or did you work for the union? He's like, well, no, I'm a shop steward. Union representatives would come and they would ask us if we want to, be a shop steward. It's a thankless job. But from that moment on, I was interested in that. And it started there, 1986.
And at some point, did somebody ask you to be a shop steward?
Well, 2 years after that, it's a long story and I don't want to drag it on, but 2 years after that, I transferred over. I ended up working at Tri-Valley Plant 7. This is 1988, 2 years after that, where the opportunity happened. Thanks to a gentleman, Fred Porras. When he interviewed me, there were job openings for electricians. Usually they'll announce that job inside the plant, and then if nobody bids for that job, they go on the outside. So it happened, and he interviewed me, and I explained to him, man, if you give me an opportunity, I promise you I'm not going to let you down. And he did tell me, he says, Louis, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. You'll be on a trial period, and he gave me 30 days. I started there, and thank God I got hired. That man gave me an opportunity, and I was there from 1988 all the way till the plant announced that they were closing, which was 2018. So if you ask me, I've always been a Teamster member, and it's been like 34 years as a member and as a worker in the cannery industry. But to what you were asking, it was there where I was also approached by a shop steward, and again, just tell me about the union, and that's where I became a shop steward. It was during David Montoya's time, and I believe he was a president. In past administrations, he worked with Bob Britt, who was a secretary treasurer, local back then, 748. But that's where I started.
And Lupe, when did you start at the cannery, and how did you make your way into the cannery industry?
I started in 1976, right out of high school. I graduated from Ceres High School, and I was looking for a summer job. So I signed up to work in the canneries. Del Monte called me, and it was just going to be a summer job right before I went to JC. But the next year I came back to work again, and 44 years later, I'm still there.
That's a long summer job.
Yes. I also started, the way I became a shop steward was actually at the same time that Louis did, through David Montoya.
And for those that might not be familiar, my memory is that Montoya at one point was the Secretary Treasurer, Local 748. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, we have limits on how long we can tape without taking a break. So this looks like a pretty good opportunity to take a break. So we'll be back on a second video in just a few moments.